Hey, hello, 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 hello. I am so excited to see you. Okay, maybe I can't see you, but you can see me, and you have decided to spend some time with us, me and my VIP. So I'm super excited that you are here spending time with us, getting the opportunity to grow with us. I guess I could say so. Your life is going to be enhanced just a little bit, okay? I need you to do me a super huge favor, if you will. I totally believe that sharing is caring. So if you will be so kind, when you're watching this episode, to use that little button down there off to the side that says share, go ahead and copy the link, put it to your social medias, copy and paste it, text somebody, email somebody, either way it goes. I need you to show me that sharing is caring, and share this broadcast with somebody whose life can be enhanced just as well as yours. Because I have a VIP here with me that is a phenomenal individual, and that's going to encourage our faith. If your faith might be shaking or your faith might be a little bit down, I promise you, you're going to get a little faith boost on today. And she's going to definitely encourage you. She is a wonderful author, and she's going to give you some more of her accolades in a little while, because can't nobody tell it better than that person can, right? Okay, I showed you guys too much. Wait a minute. Nevertheless, I have author Miss Shelly here with me, and she is the author of Beautiful Ashes. What that is, it is a true story of murder. Who don't like a little bit of murder, right? It's betrayal and one woman's search for peace. We all need a little bit of peace in our life, right? So she's going to give us a piece of her story of how she achieved some peace in her life after all of these situations happened to her. So let me stop talking, and I'm going to bring to the forefront Miss Shelly.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I am thankful. Can you do me a super huge favor?
Sure.
Tell me one thing that you are thankful for.
Oh, that's an endless list. Well, I'm thankful for the blessing of peace and happiness in my life.
Ooh, that's what's up. Now, see, I like it. I absolutely enjoy that. I mean, it's always a good thing to be thankful. And sometimes, like, I know I'm notorious for saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And I do want to know how an individual is doing. But sometimes our response is like, "Hey, how you doing?" We talk pre-funk behind the stage, and I was telling you a little bit of how my day was, and you told me a little bit of how yours was. But then when it's lights, camera, action, "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm good." That is our typical response. So because for the most part, that's how we answer, I decided, forget it. I ain't going to ask somebody how they're doing. I'm going to ask what you're thankful for. So that's how that came about.
Well, it's a great question because gratitude is one way to convert sadness and depression and anxiety to peace and joy. Is
Come through.
expressing gratitude.
Absolutely. I love having the attitude of gratitude. So it kind of helps shape
Hmm.
my thinking. Sometimes I get a little discouraged, down and out. When I think about certain things that's going right versus the things that's going wrong, you get a chance to see this beautiful smile. Yes, I did gloat about myself. So you get the opportunity to see the happier side versus the down and out side. So I appreciate you answering that. Tell me this. How did this book come about?
Well, it's a long journey, and so we're not going to be able to cover the whole story in here because, I mean, just the narration on this audiobook is almost 12 hours. So,
Oh, really? I need that on the airplane then, if that's the case, because I'm doing
yeah.
traveling, so I need the audio book. Okay, I got to get that. How did Beautiful Ashes come about then?
Well, I've had quite a life. I had to overcome. I say a cornucopia of trauma, and I was stuck for a very long time, and I found a path to healing. And so now it's basically my life's mission to try to help others find their own path. And by sharing my story, hopefully it gives other people hope when they see what I've been able to accomplish and where I had to start from to get to where I am today. That I'm hoping that it gives other people hope and can see that it is possible to find peace and happiness, no matter really what happens in your life. And so I think the overall overarching theme is I grew up with domestic violence.
Understood. Okay.
My dad was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde alcoholic.
Wow.
And when I was 15, it culminated in him murdering my mother and burning our house down.
Mercy.
And
That's tough.
yeah, and then things got worse. So
Okay.
I know that's hard to
I'm
kind of
trying to
wrap your mind.
digest that. Like, geez, wait a minute. Your dad did that. You lost your house, and that's a lot to digest. And how old
Yeah,
were you when this happened?
I was 15,
Mercy.
and and so that's one of many major traumas that I had in my life. I mean, just I'm trying to give you kind of a Cliff Notes version of so even in that same year, I was assaulted twice. So when you grow up in domestic violence, you're as a child in domestic violence, you're trained not to talk about it. You're trained not to
Right.
speak. You're trained not to even advocate for yourself. So it sets you up to be victimized in other ways. And so literally 3 months before my mom was murdered, I was raped on a family vacation. And 4 months after I was. What's that?
Was it by a family member or it just?
No, it was. We went to England and as a family. And again, domestic violence ranges every socioeconomic, everywhere in the world.
It does.
There's nobody that's
No borders, no boundaries.
no boundaries. And so we were, we were on a month-long vacation to England. And because my grandmother was from Scotland and we had family there. And right towards the end of the trip, my parents agreed to let my sister, and my sister's 2 years older than me, let us go to this like club, pub, whatever you want to call it, within walking distance of my mom's cousin's house where we were staying. And I started dancing with this older guy. I'm 15 years old. I thought it was cool because I'm drinking,
And
and
their drinking age is different over there than here, right?
it sure is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up getting assaulted, and I never even spoke about it until I started writing the book, and I've been through decades of therapy. But so when people are wondering, oh well, that must not be true because she didn't say anything right away. Well, that doesn't really apply.
Does not at all. It does not at all. What do you think made you not want to say anything? What put the mute button on your voice?
Well, besides I was trained not to speak.
Okay. You said you're trained not to speak. Was that a familial thing? Like your family said, don't
Well,
talk
no.
in your house stays in your house, or?
Yeah, well, it was like, I grew up stopping my dad from killing my mother my whole life. We would stop him from beating her up or strangling her or whatever. And then the next morning I call him in the book, the morning after breakfast, where we'd be sitting down. I'd wake up to hash browns and sausage and eggs cooking, and we'd sit down as a family, and mom might have scratches on her neck or whatever, and you're eating your breakfast. Oh yeah, this is a great Sunday or whatever.
It's like normal for you then, huh?
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. I was trained not to talk. It was you don't articulate abuse. You don't call it out. You don't advocate for yourself, and so therefore. That's why I said it sets you up to be a perfect victim for other things. And so I think that was the root of why I didn't say anything. But then, and I think a lot of women can relate to this, is that I was drinking.
Okay.
And I was willing to go kiss this guy. Okay. I just wasn't willing for, what happened next.
Right. You're just having fun. You're a kid. And hey, I'm not gonna lie. Well, at least let me say for me, I kind of think it's cute for an older guy to think I'm cute. Hey, you want
Right.
to talk to me? Al, what? So it's kind of a thing. Like you're interested in me, but I don't want to go all the way. I probably like, oh, you think I'm cute? Huh? Oh, I got the moves. Okay, hey, but
Yeah.
we ain't going too far. Like in my brain, what I'm saying and how I'm feeling, you need to understand it, and
Right.
don't go too far. So.
Yeah. And so that one I didn't talk about. The one that happened after my mother's murder, I did talk about in therapy because that was a much older man who had already molested me when I was younger.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Okay.
but in around the murder, after when I say things got worse, my sister and I had to live with my dad for 2.5 years before his trial,
After the
and
murder.
yep. And then I became the star witness for the prosecution, and I had to go home with them that night.
Wow. That's tough.
So so there's a lot of stuff in this story that is really mind blowing as far as like how the system failed,
Mm-hmm.
all the victimization. I mean, there's things in there's actual like medical. I've had medical long term medical. I'm on disability right now.
Okay.
I have had long term medical issues. I have medical issues that I didn't talk about even in the book. I spent 2 months of my senior year in a body cast. I don't even talk about that.
So was he
Um,
abusive towards you guys also, or was this just for mom?
it was both, but
Okay.
mostly mom. And then secondary my sister, and then I was like the least physically. Um, I wasn't really physically harmed as I was older.
Okay.
I got pushed around a bit when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
It was more the mental and emotional and all the other fun stuff that goes along with it. And the threat, right?
Understood. Understood.
The threat's real.
Okay. Understood.
And so there's a lot that I had to overcome, and I was stuck for a very long time.
Understood.
I finally started doing therapy when I was in my freshman year in college. So my dad went to prison my senior year of high school. I'm now an orphan.
Mm.
CPS never talked to us ever. So
Out
my
of this whole
sister,
ordeal, you guys never had a conversation with him?
no, but it was also 1985. So
Hmm.
we'll see what the reality is there. I mean, it is what it is now.
Sure.
But so I managed to go to school. I got my bachelor's degree in engineering, and I got my master's degree in business. But I had to do it all by myself. I had and when I first got in college, I started therapy, and I started talk therapy, and I did that on and off for 15 years as I could afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not cheap.
Therapy can get expensive. Mm-hmm.
And
Very expensive.
by my mid 30s, I just finished my MBA. I basically had my dream job as an engineer, automotive engineer for Ford Motor Company,
Okay.
and I was in management at that point, and I was praying to die every day. I had my own home. On paper, you would have thought, oh, everything's hunky dory,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't address any of the trauma effectively.
Okay.
And so it was in my mid 30s when I started doing I started seeing another therapist who not only did talking, but did some of these more holistic
Okay.
treatments. That this was like in about 2005.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing EMDR. Well, in 2005, most people didn't even know what EMDR was.
And what does
And
that stand for?
it's eye movement desensitization. Oh, it's an eye movement thing. I really need to remember what the
Gotcha.
acronym is.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But it's a technique that's it's pretty common now. I mean, even Prince Harry talked about it with his interview with Oprah, how he uses it for his anxiety, and so And they're using that, a mainstream therapeutic technique.
Okay.
And I started doing neuro emotional technique, or NET, which actually helped me more than EMDR did,
Okay.
and that's another more holistic modality. But I needed it. I needed something besides talking, because you can't really articulate every single thing. And I've learned so much about, the body stores everything. And it really ended up, I read the book, The Body Keeps the Score.
Okay.
And it talked about how the body stores everything. And then after, literally after I went from like praying to die every day, I do 2.5 years of intensive therapy.
Okay.
And I'm feeling great mentally now. I'm happy and whole, and then my body just starts busting down on me. I end up, having 8 abdominal surgeries. I'm missing like half my internal organs now. I almost died multiple times, and
Well, that's because you would. What did you say? How did you just phrase it? Something like that. You were hoping to die or something to that degree.
well, I was praying to die because I was so depressed. I was so depressed.
Mm-hmm. You were speaking
And
that out in the atmosphere, and it started happening. Huh? So you
yes,
realized your words are powerful. Let me stop
yes,
saying that. Right, gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I've learned a lot along the way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I had to change my mindset.
Okay.
I of course needed trauma therapy because of everything that I had been through, but it's really, and I've always been a Christian, and I know that not everybody's Christian, but if you believe in a higher power, that God, I'll refer to him as God or Heavenly Father,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is, I know that he has a plan for each of us as individuals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so what I've learned along the way is that it's, hard things are actually needed
Mm-hmm.
for us to develop the characteristics that we need to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And how does a loving God teach you how to be patient or humble or have endurance or long suffering or empathy, compassion, and ultimately charity?
Mm-hmm.
You have to experience hard things. And so it wasn't until I decided, I mean, I always believed in God, but
Okay.
I didn't trust his plan for me.
Understand.
I might have trusted it 99%, but I needed to trust 100%.
100%. Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so when I started trusting 100%, and I started, changing my perspective, and it's a natural instinct to, when something bad happens,
Mm-hmm.
is to ask why.
Sure. Sure.
Well, why gets you stuck. Ask why. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get stuck on why, that leads to depression and anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and misery.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
where
know why it goes
that's. So I came to the understanding that the answer to why 100% of the time was because I needed to learn something.
okay. Okay.
So I started asking what and how.
Okay.
What is it I'm supposed to be learning?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I use that knowledge to help myself and others?
Okay.
Because life isn't just about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in this together. You know, society is tries to pit us against each other. Well, that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're a team,
Mm-hmm.
and 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 so I look at things as, if I'm going to learn something that was life changing to me, I'm certainly going to try to at least teach people what I learned, so that they can see if it works for them to change their life.
Understood.
And And so when I started having that perspective, is that I'm learning something here. Is it patience? Is it empathy? Is it long suffering? Now, sometimes I had the answer immediately.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes it's taken years.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've thought I learned the lesson and I'm learning it again.
Okay.
You know,
Uh-huh.
in a well, long suffering. I guess the definition is it's a never ending lesson, right?
Understood. Understood. Let me ask you a question. With everything that you've experienced, with family, and even friends, have you found it hard to love at all? Was love ever a challenge for you?
No,
Okay. Well,
I
you had it hard.
yeah, my husband says to me, because I didn't talk about in the Cliff Notes version, but it's in the story, is that you know everybody started stealing the money. I mean, it's crazy. So I've every single thing that can be stolen from a person,
Mm-hmm.
your innocence,
Okay.
your home,
Okay.
your family, your safety, your money multiple times, and your health, I lost. That's why my website says how you can lose everything and still be unimaginably blessed, because he says to me, he's like, I don't understand how you're not jaded,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, you are one of the most giving and trusting people. And I said, well, I don't know how to be any different than that. And if so, and has that set me up to be taken advantage of sometimes? Yeah, it has. But you know what? The way I look at it is that's on them. That's not on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously, I'm not unsafe,
Right.
but but the blessing of empathy, which is probably one of the biggest gifts that I've been given through this whole thing, is that my natural instinct is to see somebody's actions that might be inappropriate
Okay.
or even downright abusive.
Okay.
And instead of being judgmental of that person, I try to understand why they behave that way.
Okay.
Because it's my opinion that even the worst people on earth have a reason why they behave that way,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
and that they're doing the best of what they're capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
even if their best sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because every single person is born with a different strength and
Sure.
different weaknesses, and even people that experience the same trauma, and everybody experiences trauma, and not just, it doesn't have to be the murder and the burning down of your house
Right.
by your parent, by
Everybody
your,
has to be different. We all have a
it's
story.
yeah. And the other thing is we can't compare ourselves to each other,
Right.
because what, again, God loves us all the same. He loves you the same as he loves me. He wants you to develop the same characteristics that he wants me to develop,
Mm-hmm.
to be the best Tiffany that can be.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is he going to do for you? He's going to give you opportunities to be pushed to your limits so
Sure.
that you can learn those things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were born with different skill set and talents than I was.
Right.
Not better, not worse, different.
Mm-hmm. Just different. Mm-hmm.
And so the way that we get pushed to those limits is different and unique for each one of us. But it doesn't mean that somebody else has it easier
Mm-hmm.
or harder, for that
Right.
matter.
Right. It's different.
It's different. Now, what you've been through might be overwhelming for me. I mean, did I feel overwhelmed at times? Certainly I did. I
Sure.
wouldn't have been praying to die every day if I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that there is a path. there's a way through this, and you don't have to be stuck in there.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I appreciate that. I mean, I think that's powerful, and I think that's something that we should all learn. Is we're different, and we are all different with a purpose. Doesn't mean that what your traumatic experience is more important than what my traumatic experience is. It was just different. And I love the fact that you put it that way. It's different. And we're all different for a reason. We're all different for a purpose. Um, but we all get a chance to learn. And even though you had some type of experience, I still get an opportunity to learn from what it is that you said. And for me, one of the key things that you just said that's major for me is that all the drama that you experienced and all the turmoil that you experienced, loving still wasn't hard, and it didn't destroy your heart. It still allowed you to still love. It still allows you to still give. There's a plethora of people that I can step on your toe and you will hate everybody who has feet. So it changes your whole world and it changes your whole dynamic. I've had some crazy stuff happen to me as I was growing up. But one thing I'm super grateful for, if anybody ever asks me, what am I thankful for or grateful for? I am thankful and grateful for my heart. It still beats. And after all of the trauma that it's been through, I still have the ability to love people. Regardless of how you treat me, I still may not be around you, but I've forgiven you. And I'm still able to move on. And I still allow the love of the Lord to flow through me. So I know it's been tough. I know it's been rough. And I should hate you. Hate is a strong word, but some of the stuff that individuals have put, I should hate you. Not dislike you with a passion. I should hate you.
yeah.
But in spite of it all, I still love you and I don't wish any ill on you. I still want to see you live, learn, and grow. So I love that you're able to do that. So I have to tell you with all of my heart, thank you for allowing your heart to still love, to still be, and to still care. That's major because you can be cold and you're not. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you. I'm super grateful. Where do we find your book at?
Well, you can find it on Amazon. You can go to my website, beautifulashesmemoir.com.
Okay.
And, I do book clubs. So if people read my book and want me to zoom in, you just go to my website and email me and I'll join you.
That is
So,
super awesome. Oh, I absolutely love that. So would you, if you're doing the book club part, would you be willing to read a portion of it or you just want to talk about it? I'm nosy. I got questions.
oh, well, no, I haven't read. I usually just join the book club, and have a discussion and let people ask me the questions that they have surrounding, and then we have an open discussion. And we haven't done any reading excerpts or anything.
Gotcha.
All right, and I tell some stories that are left out
Gotcha.
that are kind of crazy.
Understood.
So.
Understood. Can we follow you on social media?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Follow me on social media. Again, on my website, there's links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a YouTube channel. I've done multiple other podcasts. I try about 3 times a week. Haven't been as consistent this summer in doing the 3 times a week thing because I just been so busy. I got 2 new grandbabies this year, so.
I gotta catch up. I'm not in a hurry, but I gotta catch up.
Yeah. So I try to post. I'll take basically inspirational quote that I find from somebody, and then I give my life lesson around it. And so that's the real value of my story is what I've learned through all this, and maybe you can apply it or maybe you can see. And so I have hundreds of posts on my Facebook and Instagram that are really just centered around that. So
Good stuff. Well, I know this is the close of the show is getting ready to happen, and I know I love this wonderful game that I play. It's called This or That. So with that particular game that I play, I ask you 3 questions, and in the 3 questions that I ask you, I want to know your answer and why you decided to choose that. Ready for it? Okay, good stuff. So first question I'm gonna ask you is lose your passport or your smartphone?
I would have to say passport,
Okay.
but neither really. And the reason why this, the reason why the smartphone is because that's how I connect with people, and that's how I'm connecting and trying to help as many people as possible. The
Okay.
passport is fun for me.
Okay. Gotcha. Because you're so global. Everybody want to see you. Gotcha. Second question is be funny or be good looking?
Funny.
Right.
because funny lasts.
Makes sense. You always remember how a person makes you feel. And all
That's right.
you said, okay, gotcha, understood. Last question. What would you choose? Love or money?
Love.
Gotcha. Okay. Why would you choose love?
Because money is useless.
Gotcha.
I mean, of course you need to eat and you need a roof over
Yeah.
your head, but that's not fulfilling. You
Okay.
know, people try to buy happiness. You can't buy happiness. Happiness is being loved by healthy, non-toxic people that see you.
Okay. Okay. This that's what people say because they got a whole husband that can take care of them. Okay. I just want to have love. I don't need no more. I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you.
I was 41 by the time I got married, by the way.
Understood. Okay, wait, there's still hope for me. I am not, no, we ain't going down that rabbit hole. Nevertheless, Miss Shelly, I'm so grateful that you decided to stop in and tell us your story. Anybody who can hear me hear my voice with your ears, grab her book, find out more information in regards to Miss Shelly. Her book is a wonderful book. She just gave us some cliff notes from that. So you get a chance to get more details, go to her website and make sure you're able to connect with her and make sure you grab the book. We all need to have some inspiration from what it was that she decided to share with us. So for that, I want to tell you I appreciate you. Would you like to give us a final word? What do you want the world to remember and to know about you?
You can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you want to do. It's all about choice. Even happiness is a choice, whether you believe it or not. And there was points in my life that I thought, you know, that's BS, that you don't choose it, but you do choose it.
Okay, that's good stuff. Well, I appreciate your final thought and your final word. We can do anything. And I'm super grateful for that great reminder. Well, that's going to be it for this Hear My Heart show. So join me next week where I'll have another VIP with me. But join me at the same Hear My Heart time on the same Hear My Heart channel. Grace and peace, everybody. You want to tell them back?
Bye.